Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this AFK journey video. And in this AFK journey video, I'm going to share my best Clashfront teams for the free-to-play account as well as a more pay-to-win accounts variants in terms of the different teams you can build together and discussing about the different artifact combos you might want to use. So first of all, let's go into the Clashfront side. So a rule of thumb when you do your team building side is to sort of look at your own collection first and then decide which are your stronger units and then plan your team builds around your stronger units, because your stronger units are important from the tiers perspective, because Paragon tier is quite a massive difference, and a 2 to 3 Paragon tier difference in terms of the team build is basically unwinnable, unfortunately. So that is with regards to the recent Paragon changes. On top of that, there's this power for your team option, which actually decides whether or not your team gets to participate in the melee combat, which is the PvP side, as well as the trial side. Because if you were to take a look at my account right now on my free-to-play side, on the very first day of the rounds itself, we did 11 contribution totally from the trial side and totally from the trial side from the second day itself. So this is because when you go into battle, let's take for example this tile, we go into view reports and then go into let's take this tile for example, right? So if you were to take a look at the melee tiles right here, if your team is not strong enough, it would not be able to sort of take part in the battle itself, because the teams that will participate in the melee side are mostly decided based on the total power of the team itself. So that's why, like I mentioned earlier, you kind of number one, plan your team around the tiers of your units because of the rivalry stats difference, and then obviously the difference in stats for your EX weapons as well as EX 16 to 20 all plays a role. So that's why I build a team around your strongest unit, the strongest tiered units, and then followed by the combos and synergies and the combos between the factional talents itself. And then last but not least, the different like ideas you have with whatever remaining units you have in your pool itself. So this is the team building idea side. Now let's go into my teams once again and discuss about my combos. So this is my teams. Let's go into it. First team, I run the OD with Lily May as well as Hewin Damien combo, because Fresto is one of my strongest tanks right now outside of Torrent right here. So that's why we are fielding our dear Fresto in front. And for this one, if you were to take a look at the buffs itself, I'm giving Hewin the damage reduction as well as the energy regen onto Damien, because I want Damien to be able to spam the cup more frequently, because Damien's card actually has pretty good disruption skill, decent damage with the ability to heal. So that's why I put Damien behind. You can obviously put your healing behind your energy regen Fresto for more ultimate spamming from Hewin, because she's able to regenerate her energy faster to spam the ultimate right here. So for this one, we are putting our Lily May as well as OD as the prime carriers, because they're the strongest units in my account basically, right? EX25 right here, Paragon 1, EX25 very close to Paragon 1 right here. So that's why they will benefit a lot from the factional talent buff from Sylvian Sprout. And this team over here is a stall variant. So the idea of this team is to stall long enough with our surging spell providing the defensive stats as well as the shielding with additional magical damage, and then have Lily May do damage and build damage over time with OD sniping off the opponent's team one by one. So this is team build idea number one. For the OD slot, you can actually put in Bonnie as well, right? But I'm using Bonnie for another team, so that's why OD is the go-to. You can also use any non-Wilders carry for the Sylvian squad over here for you to actually combo with our dear Lily May for additional damage. I think in terms of that very last slot, OD is my primary target because she's the strongest unit, but any good magical units or any good units that can get a lot out of a stally fight is a good unit to be replaced in that last slot. Then for Lily May's case, you can obviously put in, for example, Tarsi if you have Tarsi, or even Florabelle, because Florabelle is a Wilders which will activate the factional talent while giving you the ability for additional control. So this is team number one. For this one, I won't be able to share the code because VN codes are not linked to the global site, so just take a screenshot of this team and then use it if it's applicable to your own account. Now for the second team over here, this is my free-to-play account second team. I'm using a Graveborn Store with Burst combo with our dear Light or Storm Strike spell. I call this Lightning Strike because it rains down lightning on the enemy. So Bonnie is also one of my stronger units, and Bonnie goes really well with Viperion for the quick burst. And we have the sustained of our Ludovic with our Coco in the back line with the frontlining power of Torrent right here. So I'm using the Graveborn Factional Talent to quickly deal like burst damage at the start, and then have Bonnie as well as Viperion do as much damage as possible to trigger the Storm Strike spell to burst down the enemy ASAP. So this is the Graveborn combo with the Storm Strike artifact. So for the Storm Strike spell, you can also combo Storm Strike spell with quick burst teams like Assassin team variants, or even your Iron Armor's burst, for example. So any team that's able to inflict massive damage to lower the HP of your enemy to a certain threshold works with this artifact really well. One of the stronger PvP sniping artifact that you can use with a lot of different team combos, as long as you can satisfy this lower HP ASAP combo, right? You can do it with Lenya, you can do it with Seth, you can do it with Vala. All these units are very, very quick, bursty kind of unit that can steamroll. So these are the different options you can use. So that is with regards to my second team. So for this one, you can use the Maulers as well. Maulers with Seth, Maulers with Shakir, Maulers with Assassins. They all work in the quick burst combo to maximize the ability of this artifact. Now for the third team right here, we are running the Iron Armor's Ardent Core. So let's say, right, if you have a Brian built up, or you have a Niru built up, or you have another unit, I think there's only 2 of them, right, other than Iron, that can cast the ultimate at the start of battle, then you can actually replace Velkia with that unit. So for myself, my Niru's not Supreme Plus, so he's not able to cast the ultimate immediately, unfortunately, right? And then for my Brian, even though he's able to cast the ultimate at the start of battle, one thing about him is he's pretty low in terms of tiers. So if I have to fill him, my overall power is a lot lower. But this combo will allow us to get our Iron Armor's combo off with regards to the battle, because most of the enemies would have at least one Lily May in one of your team setup, so you will need this sort of protection for Iron for that burst combo to set in. So that's why this will be the Iron Armor's Ardent combo, right? So if you don't have Ardent, you can use the likes of Bonnie, the likes of Tarsi, even Elsa, or even OD for the combination. And then for the secondary prime carrier, I use Carolina, because Carolina combo with Iron and Ardent is a very old school good combo that still works right now if the battle stalls long enough, and is one of the better combos I have with regards to my account right here. So another unit which I contemplated to use a lot is Reyna. So Reyna right here is pretty strong in terms of the Clashfront side, because you are able to most of the time guarantee a swap onto the prime carrier to strictly buff up your carries right here, because like I mentioned before, you're not able to choose your opponent, so most people will put their units on the factional talent and you will be able to proc your Reyna swap. However, like I mentioned earlier, my Reyna's only at the Mythic Plus tier, mainly used for the Dream Realm side, so that's why I'm not running him for the PvP side yet. So that's the idea with regards to my team builds. So these are the few team ideas for me. Right now we are using Velkia in the place for the sheer stats, as well as Velkia's ability to buff up the whole team's attack speed right here. So this is my 3 different teams, and next let us move on to my more pay to win account variant. Okay, so right here we are on the more pay to win variant. So the team formations are as such. I'll be copy pasting the code in the description down below, so you guys can use it for your own to see whether or not these teams will work for your own account. So first of all, let's go into the teams right here. Let's use it. So for the very first team, still Iron Armor's Ardent combo, but this time around we are using Elsa. So one thing I forgot about was Elsa being a decently good unit to combo with Ardent as well as Iron, although Elsa's not seeing that much use for this season. But the Elsa together with this tri-core combo has always been pretty consistent in quickly nuking the opponent down. So in this team we also have Niru. So for this account, Niru's Paragon 4, so pretty high in terms of tiers, and also one of the units with the instant ultimate ability to bait out the opponent's Lily May's ultimate at the start of battle, so you're able to pull off your Iron combo. And then for the artifact, we're using Harmonic Spell. Another good artifact that you can do with this team is actually Surging Spell, because Surging Spell does AoE magical damage. So when Iron pulls everyone together, when the light beam passes through all the enemy, they're able to get hit by a massive number from this laser beam right here. But because we want more haste, we want to quickly burst down the enemy, we're going with Harmonic Spell with the hyper offensive buffs in general. So that's for this team, team number 1. So team number 2 is one where we use the Bonnie with Tarsi and Talin core combo, and then just throw in 2 of our strongest, wildest support for sustain in the form of Hewin, Paragon 4, together with Damien, which is also Paragon 4. So tier wise, these 2 units are really strong. And then our Tarsi is also Paragon 4, so this one is in front of our Damien for the Damien Magic Charm ability. So ideally, you want this ability to be at a higher level so that you have more protection for your Tarsi, because she's sort of like this frontliner for you that will run in front. And then for this team, we are using Talin with the EX weapon skill, with the Pyro Renewal, as well as the burn for additional procs for our dear Bonnie's Decay Switch over here. So Bonnie's Decay Reach can be enhanced up to 2 times, and this enhancement, once maxed out, will be able to spread with the Blight Surge ability to spread to other enemies to do more damage as well as debuffs at the same time. And then when you combine that with the ability for the massive magical damage, as well as the ability to quickly wither down the HP of the opponent, the Bursty Artifact Storm Strike spell is a really good combo with this team setup right here. So this is with regards to this team. Core will be Tarsi together with Bonnie as well as Talin, but we are backing the team up with even more Paragon power in the form of Hewin as well as our dear Damien over here. So for this one, I think you can definitely swap out Talin if you don't have Talin. You can use units like Cryonaya for additional magical damage. So the idea of this 3 cores will be 3 really powerful magical damage dealers that can combo really well with Bonnie as well as Tarsi all together. So Talin right here, really good stuff. I think Barrel's also okay, but because in this account, Talin's Paragon 1, so she's like probably a stronger magical damage dealer that we can master, so that's why we're using her for this team over here. And then for the next team, team number 3, for this team, I think I saw a lot of Cryonaya twins combo. So the thing about Cryonaya is a very dino-like character with a lot of stats. This unit is very scary. She's going to win you a lot of matchups, but like I mentioned before, right, a Supreme Plus Cryonaya is not going to compare with a Paragon 4 Carolina nor a Paragon 2 Hara over here. So in this place, I replaced the Cryonaya carry slot with my Hara over here, so that Hara will be buffed up by the twins. And then we also put Carolina in the prime carrier slot so that she gets the energy regen and then the additional damage to be another carry for the team. So frontliner still Fresto, Paragon 1 right here, and then we are using our dear Ludovic, Paragon 2 for the sustain, and also the artifact surging spell for the sustain and shielding and additional damage for the team. So this is team number 3. Now for team number 4, team number 4's recommendation for a lot of players would be the use of probably non-Maulers character. But one thing about Maulers is that Maulers have quite a few good combos going for them, specifically building around the likes of Shakir to form a very melee-centric team, or relying on your Coco's ultimate spam so that you are able to fight a more sustained battle in general. So for this one, we are relying on the frontlining power of Sylvina, Paragon 4, although the EX weapon's a little bit low. Another idea I thought of was actually Corinne, so I'll be doing the necessary adjustments for the team to fine-tune the idea. But right now, if you were to look at the remaining unit, another good unit to combo would be our dear Vala over here, but this is a Paragon 2 Vala, so having that Paragon 4 difference is why I chose Sylvina over Vala. You can also use Seth. Seth is also another pretty good unit with the Maulers and Shakir in general if you have his tiers up. If not, then yeah, just throw in a Sylvina, which I think most people should have built up in most accounts anyway. So Sylvina's another good team would be with this team over here, right? This Thunderstorm team, Thunderstrike team, which allows you to quickly snipe down the enemy. So that's one place where Sylvina can go. Or you can put Sylvina in the Tri-Assassin teams. So these are the few team ideas you can go with Sylvina. But for this one, I went with the double Mauler tiles with the overcharge spell so that we are able to get Coco's ultimate online ASAP. And then we can rely on our Paragon 4 EX weapon 25 OD to carry us with the frontlining prowess of Torrent, as well as Shakir and also Sylvina right here. So this is the idea for this team. I think Maulers this season is probably not the best combo wise, but there are a few combos you can pull off with Shakir specifically, like Tarsi Shakir, Shakir frontline, Shakir assassin. So these are the ideas that you guys can consider. And then for team number 5 is the Dun and Dino comp. But the Dino account surprisingly is the weakest comp amongst the 5 in terms of power because of the tier differences. So you can see all the teams, they are all at the 850 million mark, whereas my dear Dino over here only at 816. So this is what I mean by the tier difference playing a big role in terms of the teams you can use. So this team runs Dun and Dino, needs no introduction, silence the whole of enemy's team, and then your Dun will be buffed up by the likes of Laika for the attack speed buff with the potential to debuff the physical defense of the enemy, and also the potential healing and buffing from Lawson over here with the protection of the Wildest factional talent. So this way your Dino will be safe at the start of battle, will be buffed up by Lightforge over here as well as other buffers to reach maximum potential. So this is the Dun and Dino team, which should still be one of the stronger teams around. Probably not as strong as it used to be, but it is probably the stronger one in this account based on the tiers of all the units right here. So yep, that's pretty much it. Another team idea for this team modification would be to take out our dear Lawson and then throw in our Scalita for the Celestial Hypogean side. But I think the Wildest protection is actually a lot better for Dino to survive better. So that's why we are going with Laika right here to hyper buff the Dino. Yeah, the idea of this team is to hyper buff the Dino, but if you were to go take a more safe approach in terms of putting in the units, I will actually choose like the higher tiers unit to combo to be the semi-carry for the team. So this is the team idea right here, and that's pretty much it for this pay to win team sharing. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the 2 best sets of combination units for 2 different types of accounts for my own accounts itself. And then for these teams, I wouldn't say that they are the best teams overall, but I would say it is probably the best teams I can master with regards to my accounts, and you guys can definitely try to build your teams like I mentioned, following the team building idea that I mentioned earlier, your tiers, your EX weapons, your overall power level, and then considering the synergies and combos as well as the artifact synergy in the team itself. So thank you very much for tuning in. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more. Let me know your very own creative team ideas if you want to, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.